The trip itself is very powerful, and I actually don't call it a trip, first of all, it's a journey. You're going to go on a roller coaster of Jewish history and a roller coaster of emotions. We're going to be taking you back 1,000 years to one of the oldest Jewish presences in Europe, which is here in Poland, and we're going to be bringing you up to date, even to what's going on to this very day.
A trip to Poland is an important part of discovering what it means to be Jewish. The Jewish people have been around for we've been around for over 3,000 years.
There's 1,000 years of Polish Jewry, and you have to understand it to understand yourself, to understand ourselves as people.
If you want to understand anything about Israel today, you must understand Poland. Because why does Israel work in such a backward way, the state of Israel? Because they think they're still in Poland. The political parties that we have today are political parties that we had in Poland.
History is a collection of information that happened in the world that certainly has meaning, but it's ultimately it's information. Memory is events that occurred that you recall that have impact, that are impacting you and your experience of yourself. And when you're with a survivor, you're walking with the person who is there.
That I am here, there's too many emotion feelings goes through your heart, and in no way I can represent anything that happened. In the simplest way, I try to explain you the best I can.
Once they're able to tell their tale to us, that responsibility falls on our shoulders to be able to tell it on to the future generations.
We were staying in a basement. The basement was a ground basement, you know, and the super or the concierge brought us a little food. Sometimes you went out of the house and you never came back. They took you right away. Somebody came, knocked at the house, and he said, "You have to go to the ghetto." How did I go up on the train? Tell you, I don't remember. Or my father helped me, or my brother. My brother was a little bit older than me, and we got on.
It doesn't really make sense until you actually visit it, and you see that how big the barracks are and how big the actual camp is.
Or you experience how cold it was, and just imagining in the biting cold what it must have felt like.
Going there was really the first time to really understand what the Jews went through.
I wish that everybody could go on the trip, not just Jews, but everybody, just to know what happened and get some kind of idea, because it was really valuable for me.
And I actually always thought the Holocaust was overemphasized. That you come here and you realize that you can never know about it too much. You come here and realize that what you thought you knew, you didn't actually know.
I would say that this is a trip every Jew should do, to really understand what their fellow kinsmen went through.
But also extreme joy at seeing the strength of the people who had to go through it.
If you haven't touched the lives of these heroes, of these people who accessed this incredible power and spirit and courage in the face of the greatest tyranny in the history of the world, you haven't seen what the greatness of a human being is, and you owe it to yourself to come to discover that.
can tell a lot about the person by just looking at the tombstones. Now, off to our right, will be a small grave on the floor, which will be Mayor Balaban. Mayor Balaban is a very famous historian.